You don't need a diffuser, you don't need an app that plays rain sounds, you don't need to spend money on a calm candle that smells vaguely like a spa you've never been to. You need two plants. One of them you can drink, the other one you just need to walk past. Chamomile and rosemary are two of the easiest, most rewarding plants you can grow at home, and they do something most houseplants don't even attempt. They actively change how a room feels, one through scent, one through a cup. Today, you're learning how to grow both and exactly why they work the way they do. By the end of this video, you'll know how to grow chamomile from seed to teacup, how to keep rosemary thriving indoors without it turning into a sad brown stick, and the actual science behind why these two plants have been used for relaxation for literally thousands of years. Let's get into it. Chamomile seeds are absurdly small, almost dust-like, and that's actually the first thing you need to know because it changes how you plant them. Don't bury them. Scatter them across the surface of moist potting soil and press down gently with your palm. That's it. Chamomile seeds need light to germinate, so covering them with soil is like sending them an eviction notice before they've even moved in. Keep the soil consistently damp. A spray bottle works better than a watering can here because a heavy pour will just relocate all your seeds to one corner of the pot, which is a problem you don't find out about until 2 weeks later when you have a suspiciously empty tray and one extremely overcrowded corner. Germination takes about 1 to 2 weeks. Once seedlings have a few true leaves, thin them out so each plant has a few inches of breathing room. Chamomile doesn't like to be crowded, which, fittingly, is also the entire reason you're growing it. Chamomile wants morning sun and a bit of afternoon shade. Think of it as a plant with the social energy of someone who loves brunch but leaves before things get too intense. 6 hours of light is plenty. It's not fussy about soil, but it does need drainage. Sitting in soggy soil is the one thing that will reliably upset it. Roots that can't breathe lead to the kind of slow decline that looks like nothing's wrong until suddenly everything is. Here's the part that surprises people. Chamomile actually produces more flowers and more fragrant ones when it's slightly stressed. Too much pampering, too much fertilizer, too much perfect conditions, and you get a lush plant that's all leaves and very little flower. A little neglect, paradoxically, is what gets you the tea. Harvest the flowers when the white petals have fully opened and started to droop slightly backward, away from the yellow center. That droop is the plant's way of saying, I'm at peak potency, take the shot. Pick in the morning, after the dew has dried but before the heat of the day. This is when the essential oil content in the flowers is highest. Lay them on a screen or paper towel in a warm, dry, out of direct sunlight spot for about a week until they feel crisp and papery. Store dried flowers in an airtight jar, away from light. To brew, 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried flowers per cup, steeped in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. The longer steep isn't a mistake here. Chamomile is one of the few teas that gets gentler, not bitter, the longer you leave it. If you're the kind of person who'd rather grow your own calm than buy it in a bottle, this channel is exactly where you should be. We cover real, practical plant care every week, the kind that actually fits into your life. Subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and come back because we're about to get into the plant that does its job without you even touching it. Rosemary has a reputation problem. People hear Mediterranean herb and assume it's tough as nails, and then it dies indoors within a month and they assume they killed it through neglect. The actual issue is almost always the opposite, overwatering. In its native environment, rosemary grows in dry, rocky, fast-draining soil under intense sun. Indoors, in a regular pot on a regular watering schedule, its roots are sitting in conditions closer to a swamp than a hillside, and rosemary roots in soggy soil rot quietly and quickly, often before you see any sign on the leaves. The fix? Let the soil dry out almost completely between waterings. Use a pot with drainage holes and a soil mix with extra perlite or sand worked in. Place it in your sunniest window, south-facing if you're in the northern hemisphere, because rosemary that doesn't get enough light gets weak, leggy stems that can't support themselves. Think of rosemary less like a houseplant and more like a slightly dramatic guest who needs a specific room temperature, a particular pillow, and absolutely no fuss otherwise. Get the conditions right, and it asks for nothing else. This isn't just folklore. Both plants have measurable effects, and they work through completely different pathways. Chamomile contains a compound called apigenin, which binds to certain receptors in the brain, the same general receptor family targeted by anti-anxiety medications, though far more mildly. Multiple clinical studies on chamomile extract have shown measurable reductions in anxiety symptoms compared to placebo. When you drink chamomile tea before bed, you're not just engaging in a cozy ritual, you're delivering a mild, genuinely active compound directly into your system. Rosemary works differently, through scent. Research found that the aroma of rosemary essential oil was associated with reduced cortisol levels and improved mood in study participants, alongside measurable cognitive benefits. Just brushing past a rosemary plant releases its essential oils into the air around you, meaning every time you walk by it on a windowsill, you're getting a small dose of aromatherapy you didn't even ask for. One plant relaxes you when you drink it. The other relaxes you just by existing in the room. Together, they cover both ends of the day: rosemary in the air while you work, chamomile in your cup while you wind down. Two plants, one you brew, one you just live alongside. Chamomile rewards a little neglect with flowers you can turn into tea that genuinely calms your nervous system. Rosemary rewards dry soil and bright light with a scent that lowers stress every time you walk past it. Neither of them is complicated. Both of them are doing more for your home than most things you've actually paid for. If this gave you what you needed to start growing your own calm at home, like this video. It helps more people find plant content that's actually useful, not just pretty. Comment below and tell us which one you're starting with, chamomile or rosemary, and subscribe if you haven't already. New plant guides every week. Real science, real results, zero fluff. We'll see you in the next one.